on this computer. So Azure Data Studio, we completed all the 4 methods what we have. So in Azure Data Studio, we have 4 types like online, offline, combined with 2 techniques, like one using self-hosted integration runtime and the other one using blob storage. And I was about to complete Azure Database Migration Service, which is another tool or mechanism that is there to drive the migration from on-premises to Azure MI. So I completed offline migration in that using one of the options. Again, we have 2 options there. So I wanted to talk about those migrations today. So if you have any questions, you can break me anytime. So I will start now. I think my mission is started. Yes, it started. So before driving the this class, so anyone familiar with migration using any of the techniques like DMS or LRS? LRS means log replay service, or Azure Data Studio. Any other stuff that you have driven? Because I have not done this in real time. So about what I'm doing are all practicals. So I'm just preparing myself in case if something, I mean, if any opportunity comes up to me. That is my goal. If you have done anything, you can better talk so that everyone will get to know how to drive this migration in real time. If anyone is there, you are most welcome to talk. Okay. Before going through this class, so I just wanted to show you how my setup is. I have few missions, virtual missions. So I'm just going to use this mission. This mission is just to connect to my Azure Managed Instance. Because we don't have the operating system for Azure Managed Instance, right? So I have to make use of one virtual machine to connect to my Azure Managed Instance. So I'm using this mission, and then I have my on-premises setup. So on-premises setup, I have how I set up the on-premises is I have set up the site-to-site VPN, and then we will have issues with DNS, right? Because on-premises is completely different and Azure is completely different. So if you want to talk from on-premises to Azure environment, we need something called as DNS. Using the names, if you want to talk with names, you need DNS. So for that, I made use of a DNS private resolvers to resolve the DNS issues. So everything is there, similar to on-premises. Most likely, you'll get that feeling. And if you have any questions, as I said, you can stop me anytime and you can ask the questions. Let's wait for this, and I'll launch the management studio.
Is there any videos to migrate, to create and migrate on-premises to the MI instance?
Is there?
Is there any sessions which you did before?
Yes, yes.
To migrate on-premise to
yes.
MI?
Yes, I did so many things. You can watch them on my YouTube channel. So everything is there. Azure Data Studio is there. LRS is there. What else? Transactional application is there.
Okay.
Everything is there.
Okay.
I just uploaded the entire class as is. I didn't made any changes. So I just whatever I recorded, I just uploaded them. Okay, so now let me go to my on-premises. That's why they are lengthy. So I just disabled this, guys. So I have to start this. So this is my site-to-site VPN. So from this, I will be able to contact the MI or else any Azure missions. If I wanted to talk from on-premises to Azure world, I have to configure site-to-site VPN. So I just disabled that, and I'll share Virender. So, and then this is my SQL mission. I just have one mission for the moment. We can have multiple missions, but it's all about practicing, right? So it's not about how I cannot give you the exact on-premises setup. So I'm just trying to give my best. So as of now, since my site-to-site VPN is disabled, I will not be able to talk to my MI using private connection. Means this is the private connection. We have 2 connections in MI, just to give a glance. Where is that one? MI, this is my MI. So this is the private host name is nothing but the private connection. And if I go to the networking section of MI, you will see something called as public endpoint. So public endpoint usually doesn't require any VPN, and I can connect to it straight away. If I don't have any VPN, I can connect to my MI using the public endpoint. But if you wanted to connect your private connection, that is the host name, nothing but the private connection. I will call it as private endpoint. It's not private endpoint, private connection. We need VPN for this. As of now, I disabled the VPN. This is my VPN. So I disabled the VPN. So if I wanted to contact my MI, I will not be able to. Just to show you that. I'm just performing test-net connection to my MI. So it is showing false. And if you want, I can show you this one. Sorry, I didn't copy it. So I'm trying to connect. It will fail because I have disabled the VPN. So if you wanted to connect to your MI using the private connection, you definitely need VPN. Without VPN, you can't connect to it. And using public endpoint, I don't need any VPNs. I can straight away connect to that. So let me try to connect to the public endpoint of MI. Same thing, SQL CMD -s. This time I have to pass this as the connection string. And I'm supplying my password. We need 16 characters for this. And there you go. Straight away, I got connected. Even though my VPN is disabled, I will be able to connect to my public endpoint because public endpoint doesn't need any VPNs. Okay, so let me start my VPN. I'll just first enable this and then start it. No problem. So you'll get some errors because I have to make few changes. There you go. So it got connected now. So that means my on-premises will now able to talk to my Azure world. So whatever the resources what I have inside my portal, I will be able to access those resources from on-premises. So this is my on-premises setup. So on-premises is part of contoso.com. That is the domain what I have created. From this point, I will be able to talk to my on-premises because I have set up the VPN, site-to-site VPN. So now the same thing. Previously, it got failed, right? The private connection. Now it should connect. So it will take some time to reflect because we just connected, right? So if I go to my virtual network gateway, it should show as connected. Until that time, it will fail, but eventually after 2-3 minutes, it will connect. Virtual network gateways. So for site-to-site VPN, you need to configure VPN virtual network gateway, and this is my site-to-site thing. If you see, as of now, it is not connected, but it will take some time, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Then the status will appear as connected. So we have to wait for it. Until that time, it will show as not connected. So we have to wait. So let me double check this. It's connected. Okay. Any questions here? I'm just going to start the migration now. Before that, I just wanted to show you how the connectivity happens from on-premises to the Azure world using site-to-site. Okay, so now this is my machine, SQL Server machine. I have just one instance on it on-premises, and these are my two databases that I'm going to migrate now. So imagine this is my on-premises, and I wanted to drive this migration from on-premises to MI. So as I told you, I covered Azure Data Studio entirely, LRS entirely, replication entirely. So now I'm showing you the DMS thing. So DMS is one such service that is there from I think maybe 4 or 5 years. I'm not sure with exactly from where they have come up with DMS. I think 2018. So this is my DMS service. I have to do a lot of stuff to create this DMS service. behind the scenes we have to perform few steps. I'm not showing you that. I'm just showing you this is the one that is going to drive our migration. So inside the DMS, I have two options. Let me show you those two options first. So if you see source type is SQL, these are my sources what that DMS will help us to migrate. So it help us to migrate AWS RDS can be our source, SQL Server, Postgres, AWS Postgres, and the normal Postgres, MySQL, and MongoDB. Whatever this is our source. These are our sources, and the target is virtual machine, MI, and Azure SQL. So these are my targets for DMS. Okay, as of now, I'm picking up managed instance. So managed instance will be my target, and this is the service. So let me choose SQL Server, and let me choose Azure SQL Database Managed Instance. It straight away says, see this guys, this is very important. DMS is going to get obsolete. I mean, they are going to deprecate this, not deprecate in the sense when this service will be there, but they are asking us to use Azure Data Studio. So in real time going forward, when you are driving the migration to MI, it should be Azure Data Studio is the one that you should make use of for your migrations. That is very important because they themselves are saying download the Azure Data Studio, install it, and connect it. So everything going forward will be done using Azure Data Studio, not even the Azure Database Migration Service. Previously, we were doing the migrations using this, but that is not the case. Going forward, it's getting changed. So just see Database Migration Service legacy to be deprecated. So be careful, guys. So don't use this service. Try to use Azure Data Studio as far as possible. Okay, so now I will choose Azure SQL Database just to show you that what are the options what we got. So once I say select, so we have two types of modes in migration service Azure DMS. One is the Azure, and the other one is hybrid. So I will tell you in simple terms when should I go with hybrid. So if I choose hybrid, it means all the activities, everything, the stuff, everything will be done from on-premises machine. You don't need to configure anything. The networking tab will be empty. Tags, of course, as of now, it's not required. So everything will be empty. Just if you choose hybrid mode, that's enough. So when you choose hybrid mode, what happens is that even though you don't have site-to-site VPN, which I have just shown you, right? I've shown you the site-to-site VPN. So if you don't have site-to-site VPN or express route from your on-premises to Azure MI, but still you wanted to drive the migration, if that is the case, you have to make use of hybrid mode. Okay, so whereas if I choose Azure here, if I choose Azure, we have a pricing tier with two types. Let me choose the tiers. I will show you. One is standard, the other one is premium. If I choose premium, it supports both offline and online migrations. Whereas if I choose standard, it supports only offline migrations. So these are the differences, guys. When you're choosing the service also, we have to be careful with the selection. So if I choose this, one is Azure. If I choose Azure, we have networking here because it creates the networking for DMS service, and it will connect to the on-premises using the gateways, virtual network gateway. So that is one option. And if I choose hybrid preview, you don't need any connectivity from your on-premises to Azure. You don't need site-to-site VPNs, but still I can be able to leverage the migration using this option. For this, I have to install some files. I have to run few commands. So once I perform this activity, so even though I disable the site-to-site VPN, my migration will work as expected. That is the difference. So any questions here? Did you understand the service modes in DMS? Okay, silence means I will assume no questions. So these are the ones what I have created. One is Azure hybrid mode, means this is the hybrid mode. This is the DMS service that supports the hybrid mode where I've selected this. Okay, so that means I don't, even though if I disable the site-to-site VPN, my migration will work as expected. Whereas this one is the other mode where we need to have the connectivity from on-premises to our Azure world. So two kinds of DMS services are there. First thing, okay. So now I am going to choose new migration. Okay, this one is Azure DMS mode means I need to have my connectivity to my on-premises machine. So I'm going to create new project and I will say demo project. Source will be SQL Server. Target will be managed instance. As I said, we have two types of migrations, offline and online. So I'll just choose offline database migration just to show you how it looks. Okay, create and run the activity. So this is now asking me for the source connection. My source is this one, SQL Server on this mission. So this mission is having IP as 192.168.0.20. Okay, so if I want, I can connect with IP. If you want, I can connect with server names also. So if you wanted to connect with server names, we should have DNS resolve. We need to resolve the DNS. Without resolving the DNS, it will not accept that. So for that, I did a few things behind the scenes. If you are interested, you can talk to me privately about this. So I will just pass the IP first and see if that works. I'm using SQL authentication, but you can use Windows authentication as well. Let's see if this is going to get connected or not. So DMS is trying to connect to my on-premises machine. This is my on-premises machine. So it went fine. So it took the IP address. So in the similar fashion, if I wanted to connect with server name, I can do it. This is my server, SQL server name. Unfortunately, I didn't change the name when I'm creating the VM, so it remains the same. So if I want, I can show you this also. So select the target. So how it is resolving with the names?
Using DNS.
Yeah, using DNS. So for that, I will show you what I did behind the scenes, and this is very costly. Okay, let me show you that DNS private resolvers for a second. This is the one. So I made use of this technology, DNS private resolvers, to resolve my on-premises to Azure World. But this is very costly, guys. It will eat up your money like anything. So just to give you a glance, I think it will take roughly, let me check. I have to wait for it. Why I'm showing my bill is not to showcase myself, just to give you a glance. Don't use these services without having the knowledge, because you'll be shocked to see the bill. So Azure DNS, this is the one what I'm saying. So I'm just using this from the past 20 days or so, from this month, I should say. So it is 200 euros, close to, means 16,000. So be careful. Don't use this service. If you want to use it carefully, use it wisely. And managed instance, as I said, it's very costly. You can't escape. And VPN gateways, to have the connectivity from on-premises, again, it is also very costly. But to have the real-time feel, I have to bear these expenses. That's why I'm showing you this today. By doing this, I'm able to show. If I just show you from the laptop, there will not be any stuff, right? So that is what I'm doing behind the scenes. So let's move on. So let's pass the target. My target is managed instance. So let's pick that up. This is my target. I'm connecting with private name only, not public, because I have the site-to-site VPN connectivity. Okay, and SQL authentication. I do have Azure AD authentication, but I've not enabled it because of issues with the website. Otherwise, I could have shown you the real-time feel like MFA. You will get authentication, and you have to authenticate ourselves using multi-factor authentication. Even that is also possible. But as of now, that website is not working. Select the databases. Now it is asking to select the database. So I have two databases, some testing databases. I have two databases here. I'm picking up that. And we have logins. I am not going to talk about logins because it's a separate topic. So I don't want to introduce logins here. So I'm just focusing on migration of databases. Okay. So now I'm skipping the logins part. And now we have two options here in DMS. When I choose offline, I will have two options. Again, I'm repeating, when I choose offline, we have two options. First thing is I have to provide the backup files to the DMS. Okay. Second thing is Azure itself will take the backups and it will copy those backups from on-premises to Azure storage, and then it will restore onto your MI. You don't need to do anything. Everything will be taken care by this option. If you choose this option, backups, restore, copying, everything will be done by DMS. You just sit there and watch the picture. That's it. Just imagine how cool it is. Everything has been automated. You don't need to do anything. Okay, so I'm choosing this option. I will let Azure Database Migration Service create the backup files for me. So it will ask for the network share on the on-premises. So this is my network share. Okay, this is Azure VM. This is my on-premises machine, and this is my network share. Backups. So that is the network share, and this is the server name. So I'm just passing the same thing to the network network share of Azure DMS. So let me connect to that server, and I'll copy the settings here. Database settings. So this is my path. Copy this and come back to our DMS, and you have to pass the server IP. So I can give the server name as well as IP. Both will work, but I'm just giving the IP. And this is my path. So it is server name / backup / server name. A subfolder inside this folder. Okay, now I wanted to pass on the service account credentials to DMS. So my service account is Contoso / SQL service on-prem. So this is my service account. I have to pass the service account details here, username and password. And finally, I have to pass the storage account details. Means what it is doing behind the scenes is, it's just like log shipping. It's just similar to log shipping technology. Instead of network share, can we use Azure file share service here? Here we are coming from on-premises, right? So I think it will be network share. What I think so. Azure file service, no, it's not Azure file share service here, Arvind. So if you choose this option, check this properly. It is copying the backup files from our on-premises location to Azure storage. That is what it is doing. It's not copying to Azure blob storage, because this is everything is automated. You cannot change that out. So it has to be blob storage only, not file share service. Okay, so now I have to provide the storage account stuff. So I have my storage account here. Where is the storage account? Here. And this is the storage account, and I have to go to the containers. So, and I will delete everything. I'll show you from the scratch. So this is how it looks, empty container, blob container. So I will create one. Okay, so I have to pass on that details. So container, so I'll say demo class backups, demo class backups. Okay, create it. Okay, and then click on that and go to shared access tokens. Click on shared access tokens, and you have to grant, if you read this properly, they are saying you have to grant read, write, delete, and list. You have to grant 4 permissions here. So go here. By default, it will be read. You have to grant write, delete, and list. So just grant those 4 permissions and click on this button, generate SAS token and URL. You have to pass these details, blob SAS URL. So copy this stuff and paste it here. Okay, these are the things that you have to pass on for your DMS. So when you are choosing the second option, means Azure DMS itself is copying the backup files from our on-premises network share to Azure blob storage, and from there DMS is restoring the backup files to MI. Everything is automated. Just like log shipping. Log shipping, what we are doing, we are copying the backup files to a network share, and from there copy job will copy the files and restore job will restore the database. Same technology. Okay, now click on summary. So it will validate whether I have passed the details correctly or not. If I am not, then it will show some errors. If since we passed the details properly, it allowed us to go ahead. Now I have to create a name for this activity. I'll say offline, right? Offline migration. So my source is 2019 and my target is MI. If you see 12.0.0 doesn't mean that it is SQL 24 or something like that. Whenever we are talking about a platform as a service, they are versionless, whether it is Azure SQL or Azure Managed Instance, both are versionless, guys. So just keep that in your mind. And I'm going to start the migration now. Any questions before I click on that button? I'll open one more tab just to show you.
See where we selected this offline or online option.
At the time of selecting DMS, we have that option. Did you miss that part?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. So let me go to that storage account because it will copy that to the storage account. So I have to show you containers. We have just created this and see what happens. So it will copy and I will show you that copy also. So offline migration, that is activity name. I'm clicking on start now. So it is going to start the migration. So now it is trying to perform the migration from on-premises to MI. So these are the two databases. And if you see, it is trying to copying the files. So I'm just showing you the status. So, but before that, I intentionally did one thing to show you up. So did I place my backup files over there? Do you have anything here inside these backups? Nothing, right? So Azure database service, DMS service itself is taking the backups here. I'm not doing the backups. So it is taking the backups. If you see, it took the backups and it cleaned up here. And now it is showing as copied. Now it's saying completed. So it took the backup files from there. Okay. And it's restored also. So I'll show you that. Wait, I'm getting this. It's got completed. So if I go here, and everything, because those are small databases, right? So you are not able to see that stuff here, but what it is doing is it will take the backup, it will restore, I mean it will copy and then it will restore also. Everything is automated. So let me refresh. It's got completed, just 16 MB, right? So it will be super fast. And I will connect to my MI and let's verify whether we got the databases or not. So we got the databases and let's check the count just to see. So I have one table here. So let's say top 10,000. Top 10,000. So how many records? 3,559 rows are there. And how about the other database? I will check on my on-premises as well. So I have 108 rows. So let's check the data on premises, whether we got the entire rows or not. So we got the 108 rows. So our migration is successful using the offline migration. So what is offline migration, guys? What is online migration? Offline migration means there should not be any activity from application end. You should stop all the connections. Okay. And then if you kickstart this, it will take the backup and it will restore it for you. That is offline. If the connections are keep on coming, that means the data will be there on premises and it will not be restored onto MI. So when you are doing offline migration, then and there you should come to the conclusion that there should not be any connections to your source database. So you have to keep your source database in read-only state, or else you should stop all the connections from on-premises so that there will not be any writes to the database. So once you are done, then if you kickstart this activity, it will perform the migrate. It will perform the migration and it will complete the migration. So do you think this is the best method or the other one? Like you have to choose your own backup files. Like I have shown you, right? There are two options. One is DMS itself is creating the backups, copying the backups and restoring. The second option is just it will take the backups, what we have in this network share, it will take the backups from that network share and it will copy onto the blob storage, and then it will restore. So what do you think is the best option? The first option or the second one? Like the one what I have shown or the other one? Please be interactive, guys, because it helps us to create the
I
interest.
think second option is good for us.
Yeah, because we will have the backups in our on-premises share. So definitely you have to go with the second option. So that is the best option. Because if it is development environment or the test environments or the lower environments, and if the database is small, you can go with this option, that like the one what I have shown. But if the databases are bigger in size, I don't recommend going with this option.
See one question.
Yeah.
If we already have our backups in that folder, and so the online will take new backups, or
It
it
will
will
take
use the whole one?
new backups only. On offline, this is not online, guys, this is offline. Okay, so if I go with offline and if I choose the second option where I'm saying, okay, DMS, you go and carry out the backup also. I am not going to take the backups, you do it on behalf of myself. So it will take one full backup and it will copy that. It is the DMS responsibility. It will not pick up the files what I have on that share. Okay, if you choose
So,
the other option, then only, you see, they have written it very wisely. There are two options. I will share the backup files, means DMS will not follow its own instructions. So it picks up, it has to pick up our backup files. Okay.
So is there any option to migrate the logins and SQL agent jobs?
No, DMS service only helps to migrate the databases, and it supports the logins also. Jobs are our responsibility. And here I'm not going to talk about logins or jobs. That is completely different story. Because these are new techniques. Okay, so first you have to understand how the databases are getting migrated. Then we can focus on logins and jobs and SSIS, all those stuff later. So just try to focus on the important things. Okay, so this is how we will perform the migration using this DMS service tool. So if you want to know, if you're curious, then my channel is there. I have uploaded video on Azure Data Studio and LRS also. You can watch those videos if you want. Okay, now I will drive the online migration. Means the data will keep on coming and we have to migrate the databases. So let's pick this one. Okay, I'm going to create one more project. This time it is online migration. Online migration demo. And my target is MI. So I have to choose online. So if I have to choose, if it is appearing for me, it means that I have selected premium pricing tier. Okay, if these options are available, it means that I have chosen premium pricing tier when I'm creating the DMS service. If these options are not available for you, it means that you have opted for standard pricing tier. So that is the difference, guys. If you are not able to see online online data migration here, that means your environment or your office environment have chosen may know please, what are the ways to migrate database from Azure SQL to Azure MI? Azure SQL to Azure MI. Oh, that is different story. So first we will finish off this and I will talk about that later. If you're not able to see online, it means that your company has opted for what is it, standard pricing tier. Okay, that is important. I have chosen premium. That's why I'm able to see offline and online. You have to choose premium, then only you will see online and offline. Otherwise, you will not see that. That is the important part. So I'm picking up the online now. Create and run the activity. Okay, so now let's have some data. So I'll just create some data. Means from application end, the data will be getting inserted into our databases, but still we have to drive the migration. So this is one table, sync test. So already I have, how many I have? 3,559, right? So I think we already checked this, 3,559. So we migrated those many rows. So now I will just add the rows and it keeps on coming for every 1 second. So means the activity is happening. Just to get the feel of real time, means the activities are happening to the database. The rows are getting inserted and still we wanted to migrate the database. And I will take one more example, test 15. And And from here, I will do test. I have to drop these databases, guys. So first, let me drop, and we'll do the migration again. And close off all the things just to be on a safer side. So let me drop these two databases. Okay, so this is the stuff. Now I have two databases. One database, the database transactions are coming. So if you see the transactions are happening, let me show you. It is 35599, 3559. Now it is 3619. So the rows are coming. So data is happening. In a similar fashion, let's do it for another database so that the connections will keep on coming. Where's my script? This is the script. Means on the two databases, we have the data. Let me pass this. I think I have up to 108. Select star from some object. Yeah, up to 108. These are my rows. So I will start from 109. Select I equal to 109. And I will do this. And I will introduce wait for delay so that we'll have some data. I mean, otherwise it will complete super fastly. Delay for every 5 seconds. And I will use set no countdown so that will not disturb me. Okay, and trigger this. So data will keep on coming. So I will cut this and I will show it in a new window. So 110, 111. So the rows will it will get added. So means the data is happening on my on-premises. Now I have to drive the migration. So let's go to the DMS service and I'm passing the, what is that? Source name. So before that, I will like to trigger one full backup. Okay. So let me connect to my on-premises and I have the Ola Halagran scripts, right? Just to get the feel of real time, I have made use of Ola Halagran only. So just launch this full backups script. It will take the backup of those two databases. Okay, so now if I go to that path, I should see the backups. I think this is, yeah, if you see just now, it took the backups. My time is 2:42, guys. I mean, it is showing some random time. Actually, my time is 10:42. So we have the backups, full backup and log backup. Just mute all. And now let's pass on the details. 192.168.0.20. And this is very interesting. Just wait for it. Yes, say. Of course, in real time, we will check all these boxes, guys. When you have the encryption connection and if you have the any trusted certificates, but I don't have any, so I'm just ignoring those two. But if you have any, make sure that you select those two properties if you have. And let me choose the target, and you will see a huge changes now. See, in the target, when I opted for offline migration, it just asked me for the managed instance details. Here I have just given the managed instance details: server name, username, and password. That's enough. That's enough. Only three things there: managed instance, server name, username, and password. But now, when I opted for online migration, it is asking for something called as application ID and key. So how to get this application ID and key? Anyone worked in real time DMS using online migration? So all these things are very new things, guys. So that's why I'm requesting everyone to join so that you'll get some knowledge. Anyone? How to get the application ID and key for this? You can talk, guys. Please feel to talk.
No, I did not.
So from where can I get this application ID and key? So if that is the case in real time, what is the team that should I ask
I
first?
think it is in subscription. I'll get it right.
Sorry?
In the subscription, we'll get it the application ID, right?
No, that is not application ID.
Okay, that is talent ID, right?
That is that is different. That is not application ID. So what is this application ID first of all? So if you see here, learn how to create. So I'll click on this button and they will say this. They have not given clear instructions also how to create all this stuff. Okay, this is Microsoft documentation. I am not using any other documentations or something. Even if you check the internet properly, there is no reference or proper documentation to show you how it works. You have to understand this documentation, then only you will be able to create all the stuff, and then you will be able to drive the migration. Otherwise it's not possible. So only thing is, my only question is, in real time, who will create this application ID and who performs this DMS stuff? So if they have done this, they have to carry out all these things and they have to pass on these details for you. But in my case, I don't have any other teams. I have to create application ID for myself. I have to create the key for myself. So how to do this? So I have already done this, guys. So I have to make a difference,
Azure
right?
Active Directory, Vamsi,
Yeah,
portal.
it will be in Azure Active Directory. I have already created the stuff for you just to save some time. I did the application ID and the key, everything is ready. So I have to pass that application ID. And if you are very curious to know how I did this, I cannot show it to now. I will for the others who are part of my class, I will show it to you tomorrow, guys. I mean, in our upcoming classes, I will show you how to create the application ID. There is one script that I have to use, or else I can create it via the GUI also. Both are possible. For the moment, I'm just entering the application ID and key. Okay, so this is what the difference, online and offline. So if you compare this to Azure Data Studio, just imagine how easy it is to go with Azure Data Studio for online migration. For online migration in Azure Data Studio, you just need to enter the you can choose the blob storage or you can choose self-hosted integration runtime, but both of them are quite easy compared to this. Of course, this is also easy if you know the tactics. Otherwise, this looks little clumsy compared to Azure Data Studio. Okay, so I will grab this application ID and the other stuff. I'll just show you how it looks. Azure Active Directory. Where is Azure Active Directory? This one. So app registrations. So I've registered all the apps here related to migration. I can choose any one of this application ID if I want. So I will use Azure DMS as the name looks good. I'm using this. You can choose any one of this. Everything will work. So just copy this application ID.
See one question.
Yes.
So this application is your on-prem application which you need to register here, right? Or is it a Azure application?
It is Azure application. You have to register in this application in Azure Active Directory. This is not on-premises stuff, guys. This is Azure stuff only. This is not related to on-premises.
No, but if some on-premise application we need to use for this migration.
On-premises, you just choose the source details, means your source instance, source server. That's it. You don't need to pass any other stuff. This
no, if
activity,
application, okay.
that is up. So what you are talking is application ID of the on-premises. No, that is not at all the case. So
Okay,
when it
okay.
comes to real-time also, in the source, you will just select the on-premises database server. That's it, game over. You don't need to do any other things. Once it gets connected, it's over. But here in target, it's all related to Azure now. In Azure, we have to register some apps in Azure Active Directory like this, and you'll get the client ID, and you have to pass that client ID and key. So just to show you up, this is my client ID. I have to copy this. Did I copy this here? Yeah, I copied. Now I have to pass the key. From where will I get the key? How to generate the key? These are all the things that I will talk later. So this is the key. YD9 is the one. I think I just saved in the notes or something. This one is the key. So just copy this and paste it here. So this is how it looks in real time, guys. How will you fetch these details of application and ID and key is up to you. Okay. So now I have to choose MI Managed Instance. This is the server name. and this is the password. Click on next. If my details are appropriate, then it will allow us to move forward. Otherwise, it will stop here itself. If I'm doing any mistakes, it will stop. So my details are correct. So in the target, I have provided the proper application ID and key. So it allowed me to enter. Sorry, it allowed me to move forward. That is the difference between offline and online. In online, you have to pass the application ID and key. Unlike offline, where you just select the MI. I mean, you'll just pass the MI details. So now these are my two databases. As you can see, my data is still happening. Just to show you, the data is still getting inserted. 110 rows. Now, if I check how many, 213 rows, the data is happening. And here also for the other database, just to show you, it was 3619. Now, if I check, it is 4219. Means the data is pumping. That is getting pumped down. So let's move on. Now click on configure migration. Now I have to share the backup folder details. So it is 192 where I've kept the backups. 192.168.0.20 slash backup slash. I have given some server name. I'll go here because I can copy it directly from here. This is the path what I've given. Directory structure of my on-premises. Copy this and paste it here. So once we pass the network share, since we have the backups over there, it will pick up those backups and it will apply. I'll show you that. Contoso / SQL service on-prem admin password and storage account. I just need to choose the storage account. Unlike offline migration where I've given the SaaS token, everything. Here I've copied this right in the offline migration, but here you don't need to copy anything. You just need to enter the, it will pick up, you have to choose the storage account details. That's it. If everything is fine, it will allow us to move forward. I think our backups are there, full backups. So let's wait for it. I will show you how the files are getting copied. Everything you will come to know. Create the activity. So I'll say this one is online migration demo. Online migration demo. Start the migration. So now, if you see the status, it is empty. So what it has to do? So now, if you see, status is initial. I'll click on this. So see, status got changed to log shipping in progress. And if I go internally, and if you see the status, the database files, status has been uploaded. Means if I go to my blob storage, you should see my files, my full backup, Let me go. Containers. So it has created 2 containers. I have not created these containers. It has created 2 containers for me. And inside this, I have my full backup for that database. Sorry, I have given some random database name. I'm sorry for that. So this is the database name _ full backup. This is the same file what we have on the on-premises server. If you watch it carefully, 024144, right? If I see here, that is the same file. It has been copied. And if I go to the other one, it has copied the test 15 database backup. So 151 is the last 3 letters. Let me check. 151. So it has copied the full backup. And now, if I go to the MI instance, it will be in restoring state. Let me show you that. Refresh. So it has restored the full backups. So the data is still happening. So I will create one differential backup. So just for your information, guys, differential backups will not work for DMS. Okay, I'm not sure how many of you worked in real time. Just to give you an advantage, I'm letting you know, differential backups will not work. Again, I'm repeating. Okay, be careful. Don't go with differentials. It will not work. So I will show you in front of you. So let me go to the differential backups. I will just need to add one line because it will not take otherwise. I have to modify the script. Directory structure equal to null. Copy this. Steps, edit, and here you just replace this with this line. Okay, now I will take differential backups for those 2 databases, but DMS service will not copy those differential backups. it will not understand the differential backups. That is the problem with differential backups. So if you see here, let me go to the DMS now. First, I will show you the differential backups on the server. So here are my differentials. It got created. Okay, 254. At 254, we have differential backups for 2 databases. But if I go to this service, okay, so if we click on refresh, this is being restored full backup, but it will not copy the differentials. Let me show you. This is the status, guys. It will be same. Log shipping in progress will be the status, and once we perform the final cutover, then only the status would get changed. Until that time, it remains the same. And let's go to the individual databases, and it will never copy the differential backup. It will be the same thing. So that is the important thing that you have to remember. Don't go with differential backups if you are using Azure DMS service. Be very, very careful. Okay, refresh. How many times if I refresh, it will not work. But now if I kickstart log backups, it will restore it. I mean, it will copy those log backup files. Let me run the log backup job. You will understand that. It's done. And let me show you. So 255, we took the log backups. And if I go here and refresh this, see, immediately it picked up the transaction log. It, as of now, it is in queued state. In few seconds, you will see the file over here into our blob storage. It has not copied the differential. It will copy the only log backups. Okay, refresh. It's in queued now. Let's wait for it. It will take some time to copy that backup file from on-premises to the blob storage. Here also you will see that queued state. Wait for it. Got the difference, guys? Is it sounding interesting or boring? You are aware of these things? Talk, guys. You can talk now.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. This is.
Wait for it. It will show as copied. Yes, uploaded. If I now check the files, it will be here. That's the difference. Differential backups will not get uploaded by DMS. It's not written anywhere. Just for information, even if you refer the Microsoft documentation, they have not written anywhere saying that differential backups are not supported for DMS. That is another suicidal thing for us.
Yeah, does it have any database size limitations for DMS?
DMS, it's max 2 terabytes, the file size. If your database size is too big, you have to split your backup files. Okay, make sure that you have split the backup files because they have the limitation of 2 terabytes. That's the maximum size. And let's go now. It has copied, and now if we refresh, it will be restored as well. But the restoration is for every 5 minutes. 5 minutes. As of now, it has uploaded. So the status is uploaded, and after some time, it will show as restored. And if I click on start cutover now, just to show you, it is saying, okay, boss, there is one pending log backup that is yet to be done. So don't go with this. If you go, you will lose the data. So this tool is saying there is one log backup file that has to be restored. So don't go. Don't click on start cutover. If you do, you lose the data. That is the important thing. So unless all the files are copied, unless all the files are restored, I cannot click on start cutover. You have to wait for it. Okay, refresh. Now it's restored. Okay, now if I click on start cutover, just show you, it's 0 now. Now I can go if I want. Of course, the data is still happening in the happening behind the scenes, so I have to wait for it. Okay, refresh. So let's check the other part, other database. Restored. Both of them were restored. And if I click on start cutover, it will be 0 files here. Okay, now I'll stop the load. I'll stop the load and I will take the one final log backup. So let's check how many rows are there. 315. So I'm stopping this load so far. Finally, how many rows are there? 316. And let's go to the other side. And here, how many rows are there? 4,727. I'll stop the load here as well. So I have got the final load and I'm stopping the connections. So finally, I have 4,731 rows. So now I will take one log backup and I will upload. I mean, it will upload for me. I don't need to do anything. It will copy those files and it will restore for me. So click on log backup. Done. So now if I go to the DMS service, refresh. So as of now, it didn't upload. So if first it will be queued and then it will be uploaded and then finally it will be restored. Those are the status. Wait for it. It will take some time. And very important thing is place your directory structure appropriately. If you mess with the directory structure, it will not copy the files. So if you see my log backup job, full backup job, and restore jobs, I've given directory structure as null. Means it will be just all the files will be placed under this directory. What is that? Backup slash the subfolder. That's it. All the files should be inside this path. If you create any subfolders inside this, it will not work again. There are so many challenges. You have to be very careful. Don't get confused. Don't fall into trap. So you have to practice this if possible. Otherwise, at least focus on the things what I'm showing. Let me show you whether it is queued up. Okay, it queued up now. So I have to wait for it. So if I click on start cutover just to show you, so it will not allow us to do. I mean, if you want, you can click on this, but it is not suggestible. It's not actionable. Wait for it. And this is what I'm talking about. This is how all my files are placed. Okay, if you create any subfolder inside this, it is not working, guys, just for your information. So make sure all your files are placed inside the directory structure of what you're having. Don't create subfolders, it's not working. And also differentials are not working. Refresh, it's uploaded now. Once it gets restored, we can click on start cutover and I will complete the migration. So if no questions, if there are no questions, that does it mean that everyone is aware of this, or are you not able to understand? That is the question what I got for myself.
Vamsi, for us, I think we last class we seen this, right? So we have little kind of base. That's why.
Yeah, so at least you people have some knowledge. So once this
Yes,
gets
yes.
completed, I will ask interview questions on migration, guys. So it will be helpful for you. So we have completed everything, what migration technique is there. I have completed everything. Just to show you up, we completed everything. 1 second, it will get launched. So in MI, we have done so many things, and especially when it comes to migration, all the different migrations were covered. I told you at the beginning itself. So we have completed self-host integration runtime, blob storage, and then hybrid preview. Next, that is the other one that I'm going to show you once this gets completed. Hybrid preview, I'll talk about that. And then I've shown you DMS, using DMS, native backup and restore. We'll check that part. Log replay service is done. Manage instance feature is done. Replication is done. Everything is done. So only pending thing is hybrid preview. So once this gets completed, I will talk about that hybrid preview. I can clearly say one thing. No one knows all these migration techniques. For sure, I can say that. Even the certified DBS also, I can bet with them. Okay, so now it's restored. Everything is done. So let's check the other database. I think this is the one. Test 15, it's restored. So both of the databases were restored, and now I can click on start cutover. So it is clearly saying stop all the incoming transactions to the source database. So if you are doing this in real time, make sure that at least you have kept your database in read-only mode so that there will not be any DMLs, because you will lose the data. As this is just for our demo purpose, I just stopped the connections, but in real time, the connections might pop up from anywhere. So ensure that your database is in read-only state. Once you took the final backup, just ensure that your database in read-only state, or else you can take the tail log backup. So it will go into restoring state on source itself. Tail log backup, if you take, what happens, on the source itself, it will go into restoring state. So, and it is asking me to check if there are any pending log backups, this number. So nothing is there. So I'm clicking on confirm, click on apply. So it is in progress. It will goes to completing, and finally it goes to completed. These are the status. So completing, and then it will be completed. So important lessons learned for you during this thing is how to fetch the application ID and key for online migration that you are not aware. Second thing, differential backups will not work. Third thing, directory structure should be appropriate. If you mess with any of these things, your migration will fail. Okay, we are done with test 15. Let's check how many rows are there. Test 15 on MI. So it is in restoring. So now it will be in restored, sorry, the normal state, online state. So let me go and check the final count. Okay, now I got 316 rows. So that is the final count, right? On premises also. Let me check that part. 316 rows. This is on premises. Let me check the final count here. $316 exactly, they are matching. So there are no mismatch of rows, means my migration is okay. And then I have to complete the migration for the other database. This one. So see, if you see again, the status is log shipping in progress. So we are done with all the backup files and click on confirm. What is the final count? I think it is 4731. Let me check again. 4731. Let's check here, refresh this. It's done. So 4731. Oh, I clicked on top 1000, so it will be 10,000. 4731. We got the rows. So my migration is successful with online migration from DMS. Any questions before I'm going to talk about DMS? Okay.
Vamsi, this is Anto.
Yeah.
Yeah. So until now, you are showing only the homogeneous
Yes.
restoration,
SQL to
right?
SQL. Yes.
SQL to SQL. Yeah. So have you tried anything like SQL to Postgres or?
No, I didn't try. I can try Oracle, but from here it doesn't support. DMS doesn't support Oracle. It supports only Postgres and MySQL or AWS RDS. For Oracle, I have to use something other tool called as SSMA. Of course, it will help us to convert the schemas between Oracle and SQL. So I will try that option. That is, even I have that in my mind, but that is a bit challenging. I will use some, I will create one database. EMP database is there, right, in Oracle anyways. I can use
if you
that.
if you need some Oracle help, yeah, I can help.
Yeah, we can do that. It's possible, but that will be my final migration project. So if I get some time, I will perform that lastly, because I wanted to complete everything with SQL. So that's why. Okay, now there is
that will
one.
be interesting.
Yeah, there is final option by name Azure Hybrid DMS. This one is still in preview and not many of us have used this option. I am pretty sure. So let me show you that. Managed instance. This is the one. So when should I use Azure DMS hybrid mode? Hybrid mode, as I said, it will be used only if you are driving the migration from on-premises where there is no site-to-site VPN. That is the important. So hybrid mode is especially useful for the scenarios in which there is lack of site-to-site connectivity between the on-premises network and Azure, or if there is limited bandwidth. Imagine your connectivity is there, but still you don't have good bandwidth and copying of files is taking hell lot of time. If that is the case, you can think about hybrid hybrid mode. The name itself says hybrid, means it's a combination of two techniques, right? So hybrid mode supports only these four migrations: managed instance with online, Azure database with offline. That's it. And MongoDB to Cosmos DB is possible via hybrid mode. Only the four supported types are only four, and that too to MI it is online. It's not offline. It supports only online migration for MI. So what is this hybrid mode and how to work on this hybrid mode? I will show you in my other class, but today I will show you the demo. But how to create this mode and all these things I will show in my class upcoming class. But straight away I will show you how to make use of this service. I'll get some water and I'll come back. Sorry guys, I'm back. So now, as I said, this will be used when we don't have site-to-site VPN.
Vamsi,
yeah.
please put mic nearby.
Okay. As I said, this will be useful when we don't have site-to-site connectivity, right? As of now, I have site-to-site connectivity. So that's the reason my DMS is able to talk to my on-premises network using the VPN gateways and all. So now what I have to do, I have to break this site-to-site VPN connection. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'll stop it and I will make it as disabled. Means there will not be any connectivity from on-premises to Azure, but still my migration should be successful. So let me go here and let me disable this and then disconnect this. So now if I try to connect to my MI, it will fail. Why I should use SQL CMD? I'll use TNC. Gone. No connectivity whatsoever from on-premises to Azure. So still I wanted to carry out this migration. So I don't know when this will be used because every company definitely will have connectivity from on-premises to Azure. But I'm just thinking like maybe some companies where few of the servers might not allow the network to talk to the outside world. If that is the case, but still if I wanted to drive the migration, then I can think about this Azure hybrid mode.
Some of the databases services will be there in the DMG area, right? So
Yeah,
that will
DM
be not
side.
part of, yeah. So that area, especially like banking sectors, databases servers. So
Yeah,
that
maybe.
time that time it is very much useful.
So, but to carry out this again, there are so many steps, guys. So many. We have to do few things. So I cannot talk about those few things because they are lengthy, and I've done this just to show you a glance how it looks. I didn't remove the PowerShell stuff here. 1 second. See, I have to run few commands. Okay, after running all those commands only, I will be able to perform migration. Otherwise, it will not work. What are those few commands is being listed here. How to run this and all, and this requires .NET 4.7.2 as the version. If you have .NET less than this, it will not work. So you have to ensure that your source machine from where you are driving the migration, you should have .NET framework as 4.7.2. And then you have to enter few things, just like we have seen the application ID, right? For online migration. In a similar fashion, you have to enter the application ID and resource ID, and you have to save this inside the JSON file. After that, you have to generate one certificate. It will generate one certificate by name like this. You have to upload this certificate to Azure Active Directory. So how the connection is happening, you should understand that, right? Without any connection, like site-to-site connectivity, how can I achieve migration, right? If you have the connectivity, it is fine. You will connect to your Azure world from on-premises using the virtual network gateway. When you don't have the connectivity, but still you don't, if you want to leverage the migration, you have to carry out few steps. So how they are getting authenticated? It's getting authenticated with the help of this certificate. So this certificate would get created by this exe file. This bootstrap.exe will generate one certificate. I will just show you that certificate, how it looks. Where is that file? I've kept inside E drive. E drive DMS hybrid. This is the certificate. I have generated that certificate and I have uploaded this certificate to Azure Active Directory. Let me show you that part. In real time, it will be done by your respective teams, guys. Since I don't have anyone here, I have to carry out all these things for me. Azure Active Directory, where is that stuff? Yeah. Azure Active Directory, and then app registrations. I have registered this app. So this is the app what I have registered, hybrid DMS, and I have uploaded the certificate here. If you see, this is the certificate, the same certificate is being uploaded here. Sorry, this one, certificate, DMS hybrid app key. So I uploaded the certificate, and with this, I'm able to talk to Azure with the help of this certificate. So how the connection is happening when we don't have the site-to-site VPN means with the help of these certificates, and with by passing the information to JSON file. So this is how the connection is happening. I know this is very, I mean, you don't require all this stuff, but as I said, I have to carry out this to show you. I've done everything. So now I will just drive the migration from on-premises. Now we don't have connectivity, guys. Very important thing. My connectivity is disabled. There is no site-to-site VPN now. It is disabled, but still I wanted to leverage the migration. That's the beauty. You got the things now, maybe at least few things. 2%, 3%. Who are there? I'll just see the names.
Yes, Swami.
Okay. So without VPN, I'm going to start the migration. So that for that I need DMS hybrid mode. So I have one more service here. If you see this one, hybrid mode, it will install some files for me and it will create a worker threads, worker name. Workers will be installed using these workers, and using that certificates, everything will be connected from on-premises to Azure DMS, and then we can drive the migration. So this is how it looks like. There is a difference between the normal DMS and hybrid mode. If you see the normal DMS, the hybrid mode will be disabled. Okay. And if you see the hybrid mode DMS, this will be enabled and you will see the workers being registered here. That's the difference. Okay. So now I have to choose Azure hybrid mode and I have to create one project. Yesterday I thought of doing, but I didn't do. So I'm doing in front of you. So I will delete this. So go to Azure hybrid mode and click on new migration project. So I will say hybrid mode. These demos are not there even on the Microsoft website, guys. Okay, none of them have performed this. So this is the first of its kind. So at least watch this as many times as possible to understand. Okay, so now I have to choose manage instance. If I choose manage instance, see, okay, let me double check whether I'm using the correct thing or not. Azure hybrid mode, yes. Hybrid is there, okay. And then I'll click on migration. Project name is hybrid mode. SQL Server, Azure Managed Instance, online migration, and then create and run the activity. So now I have to pass on the server details. Again, before that, I have to delete the databases. We'll close off all the connections. I'm very excited because I have not done this migration, and that too without site to site. I'm just testing for the very first time. .192.160. I have to enter IP only because we don't have site-to-site VPN now. So if I go with server names, it will not work. The DNS is not there, right? So I cannot go with server names. I have to rely on IP only. Let me check if I have the internet connectivity. Yes, it is there. SQL. Let's wait for it and see if Since we don't have site to site, let's see if I'm able to connect it or not. Okay, now I have to pass the application ID and application key, just like yesterday. Sorry, not yesterday. My previous demo, I have to pass in the application ID and key. So how to fetch that information? So application ID is here. This is my application ID. And the key. For key, I have to go to certificates. And here is my key. So I just copied that yesterday night. This one. Not this one. Okay, I didn't copy. So I'll copy now. 3D7. Did I copy it to somewhere? 1 second, guys. It's not required. Hybrid DMS. Okay, I didn't copy. So I'll create one and I'll copy that. New client certificate. Hybrid demo. So you have to copy this key. Okay, you don't need to worry about this because in real time it will be done by your respective teams. So you can skip this part. If you are very interested, I will let you know how to do that.
Yeah, please, Vamsi.
Yeah, not for the batch, guys. For the others, I'm saying. So I will show
Okay.
how I did in my next class. So click on databases. So if the information is correct, then it will allow me to proceed. Yes, it is correct now. So we have 2 databases. So again, it's online migration, guys. So the rows will keep on coming. So it will be the same thing. So I don't want it to repeat that same content again, generating the load and all the stuff. I'm just picking up these 2, and let's click on migration. The same stuff again. It will try to get the contents from there and the same thing. So, but the only thing is we don't have the connectivity. Backups slash. We have the backups there or there, right? We have everything. So I will take one full backup finally, and I will use that only. I will delete all this and I will take one full backup. Full backup. I have 2 full backups. That's enough. Copy this name. Why it is slow? Okay. I will get it from here otherwise. Same thing, username, password. I should have tested this last night. I didn't do this. So let's wait for it. Storage account. Yes, this is the one. So next, click on summary. Okay, so the validation is successful. Let's name this as hybrid demo. And just to be on a safer side, I will give some other name. Start the migration and let's see what's happening with So initial, so from on-premises to Azure MI without site-to-site VPN. So uploaded. Let's check the backup files here. Management. Is that this one, right? Yeah. Containers. Yeah, again, it has created 2 new files. What is the time? 11:24. So these are the 2 files, 2 containers, and inside that I will see my full backup files. So this is how we can leverage the migration without site-to-site VPN using the Azure Hybrid Preview mode. So once it gets completed, I will click on Start Cutover, and we are done with all migrations, guys. There is nothing pending. If you have any questions, let me know now. I'm very happy.
Yeah, it's very interesting, this one, Vamsi. Me too.
Yeah, we see initially I was not having confidence on myself whether I will be able to cover all these migrations, because I said I will be covering everything, but for everything we are able to achieve, like whatever the migrations what we have, all the different techniques that are there out there on the internet has been done now. There is nothing pending. So I'll take one log backup just to show you. And now if I start asking questions, I will see how good you are now. I'll come to know whether you have understand or not, because I've shown you everything. So I'll give you Sunday as time, and you can go through my videos. And on Monday or Tuesday, I will ask questions, and let's see whether you will be able to answer this or not.
Easy questions only, Vamsi.
No, I will give you scenarios. I will give you some
Okay.
scenarios, like source will be like this and target is like this, and what will be your technique, so that you will understand where to use when, right? Because I've shown you so many.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
you
Yeah.
have to pick the right content at the right time,
Correct.
so that you will
Yes.
be having that added advantage. Is it done? Log backup. User database. What is this? Full. Okay, I will take log. So it will copy and it will be completed. So refresh. Any other questions? We'll just wait for it to get completed. Can I ask you a few questions? Even I didn't
Yeah,
prepare
yeah.
for questions. So the others, how about others? Like now we have only our team only, I guess. Most of them are only 1 or 2 from outside. I wanted to migrate a database from on-premises to Azure Managed Instance. Sorry, to Azure SQL. Okay, to Azure SQL. I just twisted the question. From on-premises to Azure SQL, but there is no connectivity from on-premises to Azure World. Okay, and I have to drive the online migration. So would that be possible? Again, I'll repeat the question. I think it will be frightening for others. Question is on-premises. Okay, and target is Azure SQL. On-premises is source and target is Azure SQL, and there is no site-to-site VPN from on-premises to Azure. Okay, and I have to carry out online migration for Azure SQL. Would that be possible?
I think it.
No.
Okay, so if you read the material properly, online migration for Azure SQL using hybrid DMS mode is not possible. So first of all, when I say no site, no connectivity from on-premises, that means straight away in your minds you should get site-to-site. Okay, so that site-to-site is support is not there. So the answer is hybrid mode, and hybrid mode supports only 2 things. Okay, Azure SQL database offline and Azure MI online. This should be your answer. And even in real time, if you come up a situation like this, just keep that in your mind. And now my next question is, I wanted to perform migration for a bigger database. I have the full backups and I have the differential backups also for the database, and I have the log backups. I'm using DMS service. So can I make use of my differential backups when I'm doing migration using DMS?
No.
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 So what should be the technique that I can make use of if I wanted to make use of DMS? Sorry, differential backup. Sorry, not DMS. Different LRS, and we tested it.
Azure Data Studio.
Azure Data Studio is also taking our differential backups. We tested that out, but if you want, I will give you one more time. I will try one more time and I'll let you know for sure. But as of now, I can say Azure Data Studio and LRS. But my answer will be LRS, and then I will say Azure Data Studio. But DMS is not at all supporting differential backups. And next question is, I wanted to have control on the migrations. I wanted to have control on the migration. Means I wanted to drive many databases at one shot, and I wanted to have control. And what is that? I will go through the questions. I will prepare questions for you guys so that it will be interesting.
That is related to Azure Studio, correct?
That is related to LRS actually.
LRS.
So anyways, this is restored now. I'll click on start cutover and I'll say confirm. So let's see whether the databases, anyways, it will be there. I'm confident. So I'll click on this also. I'll say restored. Did I click on that one or this one? Okay, GG is kind of completed, log shipping. Start cutover, confirm, apply, done. So now, how about the TD databases? Still now, I have not shown you TD enabled databases. I've just shown you the normal databases. We have to check that part. I'll connect from here. The databases are restored, guys. So let's check. I think my server went into frozen state. Let's check. Okay, it came back. Okay, now let's check the final count. What is that final count on this table? On premises. Let's check. So what else is pending in our documentation? Past contents. Proxy redirect. I told you about this. CPU, processor, SSD capacities. We covered that. Routing tables, cluster, NSG. I've just shown you how it looks.
This TLS and security.
Monitoring is there. Monitoring is there. That is a wider topic. I'm not skipping monitoring. I have to give my best. So that's why I kept it aside. What is that? Security.
TLS and security.
TLS and security. Let's
go on.
I'll try to cover some scenarios because this, see, I can, if I wanted to talk, I will just say, okay, I'll go to my MI and I will say, where is MI? Okay, so let's go to the security. I'll say networking part, public endpoint we covered, and here TLS version. These are just it's just like buttons. So if I go with TLS 0 or TLS, if your applications are not compatible with the older versions, so you have to go with 1.0. Sorry, with newer versions. And if your applications are compatible with TLS newer versions, you have to choose TLS 1.2. But in real time, if you have any applications that are not supporting 1.2, you have to choose this version. Then only the connections will be successful. If you are having any connectivity issues, try to make use of this. So for all this, if I can create demos, it will be interesting. If I talk like this, it will not be interesting. So I will see if time permits, I can show you that part. What else? Migrations, I think we have done the best migration. My tuning part, okay. I will take one class on tuning. Backups, we know full backup for every week, differential backups for every 1 day, and log backups for every 5 minutes. We know about local redundancy, global and zero redundant storage. It supports only copy only format, and by default, all the databases are TD enabled. We know what is SAS. SAS, we made use of this in our migration, right? So SAS is there. Backups with Azure storage account, I did so many number of times. Disable, enable encryptions. We can check that part.
Backup compression ratio in MO.
compression by default it is not enabled. We can create compression. Okay, so I think the databases are here, guys. So I don't want to waste the time. So I'll wind it off here, and I will ask you to go through all the migration videos once, and also I will refer my contents here, and I will see if I'm missing something from this page. If that is the case, I will let you know. Like I will show you those demos, and I will complete MI now. So by next week, MI will be completed, and we'll start Azure SQL. If you have anything in your minds with MI, let me know. I can take it. I can take that up. Okay, I cannot show you DR, guys. I'm sorry for that, because again, I have to create one more MI for that. Already I'm having, the bill is going to 1,000. So I cannot do that part. Leaving out that, rest of the things I can handle. Anyone having Microsoft Authenticator on your mobiles?
Yes,
Guys?
yes.
Yeah, who is that? Who said yes?
Shamim.
Shamim, let me know. I will connect with you, and I will
Okay.
try to authenticate to my mission using the authentication from your mobile. Okay. So I can talk about Azure Active Directory, but unfortunately, I cannot show you how I have completed this, those steps, because that website is not working. If you have any websites of yours, let me know. I can add the DNS entries of my Azure Active Directory stuff, so I can show you that also. That will be super interesting, guys. It will be beyond your imaginations. See, just to let you know what I'm talking, I have 2 missions dedicated for that. AZ DC SQL Azure DC. Okay, so inside this mission, I have configured to website only, talenthub.ga. Where is that? I have one website, so I have integrated my DNS records to that website, and I've shown this as a bit in my IAS classes. But if time permits, we can work on this also. It will be very interesting, this part. On-premises connections using Active Directory authentications. We can do that. It's pretty possible. This is what I'm saying. Azure Active Directory Universal with MFA, password integrated. All these 3 I can show you this part also. Okay, so let's wind it off, and I will catch you on Monday or Tuesday. Monday I have meeting from 4 to 5, so I don't know. If not, I will connect on Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Please
Vamsi.
upload this video into the folder.
Thank you, Vamsi.
Thank you.
Thank you.